Terry Ann Talk, let's talk about forgiveness. And I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with this one, and a lot of people may disagree, but this is not the time for you to go ahead and argue your point with me to get me to believe what you believe. If you disagree with what I'm about to say, that's fine. Your opinion, your perspective is fine with you, and mine is fine with me. Okay? This is not about for you to convince me to believe you. No, this is one of those moments where you have to just agree to disagree. And if your ego cannot handle that, this video is not for you. It's not for you. Okay? So those of y'all that are still here, let's talk about forgiveness. Okay? And I really feel that whole forgiveness narrative has been pushed. That whole agenda has really just been pushed upon us by religion, mainly Christianity. And Christianity is the youngest religion that we have. So let's just be fucking for real, okay? Like, the thing is, if forgiveness is for us, right? If forgiveness is for ourselves, and forgiveness is between us and God, why are other people always enthralling themselves in whether we forgive our abuser, our oppressor, or not? Why do people feel the need to enforce and be so invasive in your healing journey where they are judging you whether you choose to forgive someone or not? Because a lot of times it's where other people get offended if you don't forgive someone else. And it's like, baby, this ain't got shit to do with you, because it's not you that I'm not forgiving, it's them that I'm not forgiving. So why are you placing so much emphasis on me not forgiving this person? That's what shows that those people that try to shame you for not forgiving this person, that person is siding with that person. They're not siding with you. They're not for you. You got to either be for me or against me. And if you are not for me, then you are against me. Because if you were for me, you would understand why I would choose to not forgive said abuser. But by me not forgiving said abuser, that makes you feel some type of way. It makes people feel some type of way. Because those that side with the abuser, that enable the abuser, that are the flying monkeys of the abuser, they feel that it is a disservice to the abuser by you not forgiving them. People feel that me not forgiving my abuser is a disservice to that abuser. That shows that they are putting the abuser's feelings before my own. Because instead of them asking me or wondering or trying to even understand why I've chosen to not forgive, they choose to put my feelings on the back burner, my experiences on the back burner. They choose to not understand or validate my experience, but they would love to validate the abuser's experience. I firmly believe that there are things in this world that are just unforgivable. Because think about it. Evil people come into innocent people's lives and they cause so much destruction. They damage a person's life. They sabotage a person's life. And by their actions, it's now taking the victim, the person the survivor, it's taking them years to recover from the action that these people have taken against them in their life. Like, you're either for me or against me. And an abuser, a person that has abused you, will always be against you. Because if they could go against you and you were innocent, they will go against you regardless. They will continue to go against you. And a lot of times they don't have a change of heart. Because if they had a good heart, they wouldn't have abused you in the first place. So this person can come into your life and cause destruction and cause a ripple effect in your life where your life has never been the same because of the abuse that they put you through. And yet people think that at the end of it, what's going to set you free is forgiving them. Fuck no. Fuck no. What's going to help you move forward is to accept what they've done. Accept it as it is. Face the reality. Face the truth of the situation. Face how fucked up it is. Sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself when it comes to your healing journey is facing that shit and being like, yeah, that shit was fucked up. It made me feel this way. It made me feel X, Y, and Z. And being real about how that shit made you feel. Accepting all of your feelings about it. Being authentic, being unapologetic, and you asking yourself, do you forgive them? Do you want to forgive them? Does forgiving them, is that going to bring peace to your soul, or is it going to feel like a disservice to your soul? Let me tell you something. Sometimes people can do things to us so horrific that forgiving them feels like a disservice to our soul. And then on the flip side, when people want to shame you for not forgiving the abuser, it's because they feel like you not forgiving that abuser is a disservice to them. Because they feel like you not forgiving them is hurting them. It's making them seem like a bad person. It's making that person seem not as valuable because they're... You ever had somebody, a family member or somebody like that asking you, how come you haven't forgiven your parents? How come you haven't forgiven your siblings? How come you haven't forgiven X, Y, Z? How come you haven't forgiven this person? It's because they want you to forgive that person because they want to believe that that person is worthy of forgiveness. They want to believe that whatever it is that they did just couldn't have been that remotely bad, that horrific, that bad. Because by you not forgiving them, it's going to open up their eyes a whole lot more to really see that this person, their actions is not worthy of forgiveness. That maybe that person is not deserving of forgiveness because of all the pain that they just put somebody through. And especially if the abuser has no remorse for what they've done. They don't care about the aftermath. They don't care about the consequences. They don't care about the domino effect that it had in a person's life. Because that person walked off free and they're living their life. They don't give a fuck about what they just put you through. But you've had to recover. You've lost years of your life. You've lost energy. You've lost money. You've lost, money can be replaced, but baby, you lost time. You lost energy. You lost pieces of yourself. You lost parts of your soul. You lost pieces of your heart. You've had damage to your brain. You've had dysregulation to your nervous system and it's starting to affect your body. You've gotten scars in your soul and people think that forgiveness is going to fix that. Fuck no. Fuck y'all for thinking that we gotta forgive. Fuck no. There are people in this world that I do not forgive and I will never fucking forgive you. I don't give a fuck. Call me what you want to call me. No, it's not because I want to stay in my anger, but it's because I'm being real about what the fuck shit I done been through. Okay? You know what I'm saying? So listen, let's just be fucking for real. Like, because our healing journey is about being real, raw, and authentic with ourselves. And sometimes the rawness, the realness of it is like, nah, baby, they did too much fucking damage for me to forgive that. I cannot forgive that. I cannot forgive that. I can accept it as it is. I can move on from it, but I don't forgive it. I don't forget it because I can never forget that shit. No. And when we start realizing that there are people in this world that have done things that are unforgivable, it's going to start to open up people's minds a whole lot more to realize that there are actions in this world that are unforgivable. There are people that are not deserving of your forgiveness because let's be real, they would love to just push the whole narrative about like, forgiveness is for the other person. Forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for you. A lot of times they say that bullshit, but a lot of times it's really for the other person. It's so that the other person is forgiven. So that they feel like what they did, it's okay now. We let it go. You're fine. No, we're not fine. We're not. Because people want you to forgive the other person so that they don't have to see that person as a horrific, evil person as they are. A lot of people don't want to open their eyes to how horrible people are. Like, think about it. There are things in this world that are just unforgivable. That's why I am spiritual. I remain spiritual because it's the rawness, it's the authenticity, it's the unapologetic rawness, realness of our emotion. Let me tell you something, baby, because you do not need forgiveness to heal from what people have been through, because forgiveness is the very last thing, and it's up to you. It's your choice, and you can choose whether you want to forgive or not, because it's up to you. It's for you, right? Because if forgiveness is for us, then we get to decide if we want to forgive or not. Because a lot of people go ahead and say that forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. It's for you. So if people say, okay, well, if it's for me and I choose to not forgive, then people all of a sudden want to shame you for it. They want to like make you seem like you're wanting to hold on to your anger. They want to make you seem like you just enjoy being in this whatever emotional state that you are in, when really that's not the case. It's not the case. It's just the realness that we have with ourselves, with our experience, with the aftermath, with the impact that that had on our lives, with what it did to our mind, body, and spirit and heart. And we realize that, you know what? What's best for me, because if forgiveness is for me, what's best for me is to not forgive them. What's best for me is to not forgive them. To know that what was done to me was an injustice, and to restore the balance and to bring justice to that situation is to fight for my own justice. And that perhaps my justice is not forgiving those people. Perhaps my justice is by me fully accepting what has happened, but also being so unapologetically okay with not offering that forgiveness to those people. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to forgive myself, because the main person that deserves my forgiveness is me. Okay? I can forgive myself for what happened. I can forgive myself for what I allowed. I can forgive myself for not putting a stop to the bullshit that was happening earlier on. I can forgive myself for not standing up for myself, for not advocating for myself, for not speaking up for myself, for not defending myself, for not removing myself from a toxic situation or environment when I needed to. I can forgive myself for that. I can forgive myself for people pleasing and doing actions that I did not want to do. I can forgive myself for saying yes to somebody else when I really wanted to say no. I can forgive myself for all of the times that I did something that I did not want to do, where it just felt so off, but I did it anyway. I can forgive myself for what I allowed. I can forgive myself for what I put myself through. I can forgive myself for not removing myself from a person that was disrespecting me. I can forgive myself for not walking away sooner from someone that was abusing me. Because at the end of the day, the only person's forgiveness that I truly need is for my own. Because I love myself and I want to continue to have a relationship with myself. I'm not giving up on me. I'm not giving up on myself. So even though I look back at moments in my life and I feel utterly disgusted by some of the things that I put up with, by some of the things that I did, I'm not going to turn that hatred into self-hatred and start to hate myself and start to resent myself when I deserve all of that love for what I didn't put myself through, or for what I had to endure, or what I had to suffer from. I deserve all of that love, right? Same with you. Place yourself in my shoes. You deserve all of that love. Because these people that hurt us, they didn't give a fuck about how they made us feel. They didn't give a fuck about what they were doing to us. They don't give a fuck about our life. These people don't give a fuck about our humanity. When they treat you like you're less than human, when they see you as less than human and they just treat you any your kind of way, you forgiving them is not going to make them see more humanity in you. It's going to be pretty much just, it's not going to change them. It's not going to change anything about them. Okay, because a lot of times we think that, oh, if we forgive this person, oh, if we forgive these people, then maybe, like a lot of times we say like, oh, well, if I forgive this person, I don't have to allow them back into my life. Of course, you don't have to allow people back into your life. However, at some point, the forgiveness, there is a deeper part of it. At some point, that forgiveness is for that other person. And so that that person can be forgiven. And so that they can receive light, receive love, because to forgive is to give them love. When we forgive, we give love. So the person that deserves all of that love is not your attacker, not your abuser, not your oppressor, but it is you. You deserve the forgiveness. You deserve it, not them. Especially when people have done things to you and they have no remorse. When they see the impact that it has had on their life and they still don't want to take accountability for what they've done. They still don't think that what they did was horrific. You could be fucking traumatized by something that happened to you. You could have gone to therapy, done so much to heal from a situation, and you go face that attacker and it's just like, oh, well, I don't give a fuck. They don't deserve your fucking forgiveness, bro, because they don't even see you as human. They don't deserve that love. Have nothing to do with those people. They don't deserve your light. They don't deserve your love. They don't deserve your forgiveness. They don't deserve any of that shit, bro. But you do. But you do. Okay? Because if forgiveness is really for us, then why is it that it seems like we don't have a choice whether we can forgive a person or not? If forgiveness really is for ourselves, then we get to have the choice if we forgive or not. And if we choose to not forgive, we need to not shame each other. We need to not shame somebody for if they choose to not forgive, because that is their choice. Let's not go back. Let's not pretty much say one thing and mean another. Let's not sit up there and say, oh, forgiveness is for you, but I don't forgive them. How dare you not forgive that person? You need to forgive them. That now you're making me forgiving them more about them than it is about me. By you shaming me for not forgiving my abuser, my oppressor, my attacker, my assaulter, you're making the forgiveness more about them than about me. And that's how people in this world are. They make your forgiveness more about the other person than it is for you. And I feel like sometimes people be gaslighting us into forgiving people. Because the minute that we say we don't forgive, all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. But the minute that we say that we do forgive, okay, boom, fine. And you know what they do? Those oppressors, those abusers turn back around and do the same shit anyway. And I just feel like the whole forgiveness was pushed by this whole religious doctrine just so that the oppressors can continue to oppress people and the oppressed can continue to be oppressed, because if all they do is just forgive and they allow the shit to just happen again, that's how the oppressors continue to oppress and the oppressed continue to be oppressed. It's like the oppressors are the main ones that want to push the whole forgiveness because they want to continue to do the shit that they want to do without having to be held accountable. Because imagine if we look at certain situations, certain actions that people take and think that action was unforgivable, it's going to open up people's minds a whole lot more to how they treat others, to how they behave towards other people, to actions that they take against people. Because if there are certain actions in this world that is unforgivable, a lot of people don't have the ego, or they have too much fucking pride where they can't handle that. They have too much of a fragile fucking ego to where if they feel like their action against you was unforgivable, then it's like a bruise to their fucking ego. And a lot of these people don't want to have that. A lot of these people are very egoic. A lot of these people are very, very full of them fucking selves. And they want to just hurt other people, hurt innocent people, and just expect to be forgiven for that shit. And it's just because people use forgiveness as a fucking like weapon. They weaponize your forgiveness and they weaponize your lack of forgiveness, because people literally think that everything in this world is forgivable, but there are certain things in this world, baby, where it is not. Like, let's be fucking for real right now. There's a genocide going on over there in Palestine, in Sudan, in Congo. So many things going on. There are, like, especially in Palestine, there are people that there are bombs being dropped on houses. There are parents holding their babies. There are families where they have their families' bodies, you know, like their severed bodies, body parts in different bags. And they was just talking to this person the other day, and all of a sudden their body is just dismantled and in bags and everything. And you expect to think, like, are you asking them to forgive? Do you think somebody can forgive something like that? Yeah, it's easy for you to say that shit about them, like, oh, they should forgive it, but because it's not happening to you. Because it's not happening to you. There's a reason as to why a lot of these Palestinians have said, I do not forgive. Because I don't think they should. And I don't think we should shame them if they don't want to forgive. Because look what the fuck you're doing to them. Are we going to tell the Jews from the Holocaust that they need to forgive? Do you tell black people we need to forgive for all the slavery they put us through? No. Be fucking for